Welcome to Mornings with Stephen Jardine. Thanks for your company this Friday, the 8th of March, International Women's Day. So coming up this morning, a special show celebrating women, starting with the phone-in. Let's hear about the women who have inspired you. Call 08085 92 95 00 or 80295 to text this morning, also coming up between now and noon.
The Friday Showdown on BBC.
Could it be you this week joining the winners on the wall here in the studio? The Friday Showdown quiz is back later on, also coming up.
Inch by inch.
Expert Nicholas Singleton here to answer your questions, whether you're green-fingered or a budding enthusiast. Get them in now. The advice is free. Text 80295. And
if you don't want to party, then you should go home. We got this 9 and 6 9 that got it going on.
weekends here again. If you've got space in the diary, don't worry. Our What's On guide is full of low-cost or no-cost ideas for great things to do. If you've got an event you'd like to share with the rest of Scotland, let us know about it. We'll pass it on. It's stephen@bbc.co.uk.
This one's called
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
7 minutes after
Just ain't
10
a homicide.
o'clock means it's time to start our Friday morning quiz. If you're a high scorer at the pub quiz, or you've thought, I would do well on Pointless, listen up. This morning, a bit later, 2 BBC Radio Scotland listeners will go head-to-head to claim the Friday Showdown crown. So if you want to be part of this big Friday quiz, all you have to do is be right with your guess this morning. Now, a bit of a confession to start things off this morning. Last week on the Friday Showdown, we saw Catherine from Glasgow go against Joanna from Aberdeen. Remember that? Catherine won. But in the aftermath of all this, we discovered a mistake was made with one of Joanna's questions when we said she got it wrong, but actually she got it right. So we thought it wouldn't be fair, especially on International Women's Day, to leave things like that. So we've invited Joanna back to have a go later on. But can you join her this morning? Can you go head-to-head with Joanna? Stand by. The question this morning, true or false? First person to guess it right will be invited to join Joanna for the big showdown about 11:30 this morning. So here's the question this morning. Here we go. According to Forbes magazine, Tom Cruise was the best paid actor in the world in 2023.
That you're happy, yeah. We've seen this all before, brothers taking advantage of the passion because we come too far for you to feel alone, you to let it walk over your heart. I'm telling you, girl, I can tell you've been crying and you're needing somebody to talk to. Girl, I can tell he's been lying and pretending that he's faithful and he loves you. Girl, you don't have to be hiding, don't you be ashamed to say he hurt you. I'm your girl, you're my girl, we're your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
See, what y'all don't know about him is I can't let him go because he needs me. It ain't really him, it's stress from his job, and I ain't making it easy. I know you see him bugging most of the time, but I know deep inside he don't mean it. It gets hard sometimes, but I need my man. I don't think you'll understand. I'm telling you, girl,
I can tell you've been crying and needing somebody to talk to. Girl, I can tell he's been lying and pretending that he's faithful and he loves you. Good for you. crying. I can see it in your eyes. I can tell he's been lying. I can see it in the way you move. You don't have to be how you are. Ashamed what you're feeling, girl. I'm your girl. You're my girl. We're your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
Girl, take a good look at yourself. He got you going through hell. We ain't never seen you down like this. What you mean you need us to help? We've known each other too well.
You're my girl, we're your girls. Won't you know that we love you? Girl, I can tell you've been crying and you need somebody to talk to. I've been knowing you since you were 10. You cannot hide from your friend. Girl, you don't have to be hiding. Don't you be ashamed to say he hurt you. I'm your girl, you're my girl. We're your girls. Won't you know that we love you? Girl, I can tell you've been crying and you're needing somebody to talk to. Girl, I can tell he's been lying and pretending that he's faithful and he loves you. Girl, you don't have to be hiding. Don't you be ashamed to say he hurt you. I'm your girl, you're my girl. We're your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
It is International Women's Day. We're marking it with a special programme this morning. The event itself dates back more than a century and aims to celebrate the achievements of women and highlight attempts to try and make this a more equal world. So does it make a difference, International Women's Day? How important is it? And what does it mean to us here in Scotland? What progress have we seen here in recent years? Joining me to talk about that this morning, we have, down the line, Professor Mona Siddiqui, academic and broadcaster. Mona, good morning.
Good morning, Stephen.
Lovely to have you with us this morning. Also with us this morning, Hannah Miley, double Commonwealth champion swimmer. Hannah, good morning.
Good morning.
And with me in the studio this morning, singer-songwriter Horst MacDonald. Horst, lovely to see you.
You too. Good morning.
Mona, let me start with you. International Women's Day, what does it mean to you?
I mean, I think it's great that people want to celebrate women's achievements, and there is a lot to celebrate. But for me, as someone who's actually spoken at Women's Day conferences and events, I think it's one day, and it just seems each year to be becoming slightly more tokenistic, as if we have a hashtag WD, 2024, and many companies do, that, we're celebrating women's achievement on this day and everyone should be celebrating remarkable women. Actually, I think for most women, it's about the daily challenges they face, and not just in this part of the world, but actually all around the world. And I think that is a year-long, almost like a resistance, almost like a challenge. And I feel that so much emphasis is put on International Women's Day as if it's about women doing women's work. Equality and the challenges and the struggles is about everyone's work.
How much progress have you seen in recent years, and what still needs to be done?
Well, I mean, at least in many Western countries, there is a lot of progress in terms of at least recognizing that equality is a value in itself. But I think that recognizing the value and actually implementing it, whether it's in the boardroom or whether it's in the labor market, or most specifically, whether it's in the two areas that I think often goes unrecognized, which is equal pay, but also the amount of work that women do that is not paid for, especially in the caring sector, I think we have a long way to go still. And it's not about not recognizing achievement. It's actually about saying we've achieved some things, but there's still a lot to do.
Mona, stay there. Hannah Miley, also with us this morning on this. What does International Women's Day mean to you, Hannah?
It's very, very similar to what's just been said. For me, it's celebrating all aspects of being a woman, but also, highlighting that it shouldn't be just one day that it's celebrated. For me, it's a bit like Mother's Day and Father's Day. We have that one day to celebrate, but every day we should be celebrating and, appreciating the sort of hard work and efforts that have been done. I've seen personally, a big improvement in the sporting world for supporting women's sport. However, there is still an awful lot we can do to be better. It's never going to be fully equal, but we are, in a better position than what we have been. But yeah, you can always strive to be better. So yeah.
Despite the many success stories, I don't know if you heard Rose Riley talking to me just after 9 on the phone in this morning, who'd been belted at school by her teacher because she dared to play football with the boys. Of course, we've come a long way, but do you think there is still that women's sport is still seen as, it's different from men's sport? We don't just say sport, do we? We say women's sport. Why?
Yeah, it is. There is just this sort of general stereotype that women are seen as being weaker or lesser than, and it's not as exciting. The sponsorship deals and the opportunities that women get are definitely not as lucrative or as insightful as men's sports. So, we are kind of fighting an uphill battle in getting recognised. And when we do get recognised, it's being shoved down our throats. It's too much info. You're just forcing the fact. So, you kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's, a bit of a battlefield with it. We have reports from the last year that the viewing figures for women's sports have been the highest it's ever been. But as you say, it is classed as women's sports. We have certain governing bodies or certain sports that put out, like top-ranked player or the most goals scored by a certain player. And actually, it's been a woman that's outscored or maybe had higher record numbers. But because it's classed overall, they tend to, gravitate toward the male athlete instead of the female athlete. So there is still a lot that can be done. And, it's definitely a lot better than what we had seen. But it's small increments. But as I say, we still need to keep fighting to, prove our self-worth, change the language around it and, showcase that it is just as exciting as male sports. But we need, a collective. It's not just women supporting women. We need, everybody supporting it across the board if we're to get that equality across the board.
Live with me in the studio, Horst MacDonald, singer-songwriter, International Women's Day. What does that mean for you, Horst?
I agree with everything that Mona and Hannah have said. It feels like, yes, it's one day that it's flagged up, but it's an everyday thing that should happen. There's a sort of ingrained entitlement across the board with men generally, but saying men, it's sweeping. I think women are equally bad at not supporting other women. In my world, I feel like I've spent most of my life being like a rugby player, going in for a tackle, sort of just in a constant fight or flight to try and get position. And when I first started off, there were problems because I was gay, I dare I say Scottish, and also a woman. And now I'm older, so I'm finding lots of different things that are negative towards me being an artist and performing. There have been a lot of changes, even just in the last couple of years. There's a list called the F List, which was started by Vic Bain, who used to be part of the Oscars, the Ivors Academy. And she saw that hardly any women were being booked for festivals or women artists. So she started the F List directory. So she said, well, there's no excuse now. If you want to find women, there are plenty out there. And even my own sort of seeing people and meeting people, there are so many young artists, women artists coming up who are incredible. And I think there's nobody out there who would want to endorse someone being successful just for the sake of their gender. But any woman I know wants to do something on merit and be chosen on merit. And that's what all across the board women need to be supported and endorsed and rewarded for how good they are and whatever field they're in.
Back in January, Rebecca Ferguson, singer, came on the show after she'd given evidence to a parliamentary committee about misogyny in music, and she talked really movingly about the obstacles that had been placed in her way by men to get to where she'd got to in music. What did you face? What have you faced?
Oh, God, yeah. I think one of the most horrific things that happened to me, and it might not seem horrific to other people, but I felt like out in a limb, swimming on my own, regardless of anything. It's a big industry against yourself. And I was doing a show, a tour, and there were flyers all over the tables. And I looked down to see what it was, and it said, "Horse, what is it, a man or a woman?" And I didn't know what to do, really. And I just swallowed all that up and just carried on with it. And years later, I was at a thing called Manchester in the City, which is a big music seminar and conference. and a guy, amazing American guy called Jim Furat. We didn't have mobile phones in those days, so there was a board where people could put messages up, and he was trying to find me. So somebody told me, I met him, and he was going in to do a talk on the music industry and homophobia, misogyny, etc. And he said, the story about you finding those flyers on the table, is that true? And I said, yep. He went into the conference and cited this as an example of major labels being horrific to women, men, just being homophobic, basically. And he said the artist didn't know about this, and some bloke shuffled to his feet and said, the artist did know. And he went, nope, I've just spoken to her and she didn't. And that whole battle, where the giant is against the smaller person, just crushes you as a person.
But they were supposed to be on your side. That was the promoter. They were supposed to be the people looking after you and helping you.
No, there is no such thing, and that still goes on. And obviously Rebecca Ferguson encountered the kind of X factor, dare I say, you're just a sheep. And for every Rebecca Ferguson, there are maybe 40 or 50 other women, other artists who are being used for position and entitlement.
Mona Siddiqui, Horse and Hannah, have had their struggles to get where they are. What's the message to young women in Scotland about what they can be, but what they're going to face to be who they want to be?
I think a lot of the kind of daily struggle, I think a lot of women are actually so used to it that they just think it's part of the course or whatever you want to get to in life. And I would say, and I say this to younger students, male and female actually, and especially women, that you have to persevere. You have to do what you can, be creative. Don't feel that you have to follow certain roads or certain predestined or pre-aligned pathways for you. You are who you are. And as long as you stay true to your own principles and know that there is value in ambition, there is value in working hard, but there is also value in speaking out. Even if you feel that no one is listening to you, speak out. Because I do think that, I don't like using the word misogyny because I think it's overused, but I think a lot of the prejudice, the keeping women away from certain levels, whether it's in the boardroom or CEO positions or really powerful positions, is not that overt. It's very subtle. And I know people who work in hiring companies and they say, Mona, I've sat on so many boards where the subtlety of prejudice against women or racism against minority ethnic women or various other kinds of prejudices has become more and more subtle. And that's because people can't be overtly, whether it's misogynistic or racist or whatever, they can't be too prejudiced. So everything is becoming more and more subtle. And then it becomes very difficult for women to say, well, I didn't get that role because of X, Y, and Z, because it doesn't conform to certain acts or legislation. And I think that's where our culture has shifted slightly, that there is legislation in place in so many organizations. So you wonder, why aren't women on merit getting the jobs that they deserve?
Hannah, that silence that Mona talks about there has been used to hide sexual harassment in sports like swimming, but it's also the more subtle things, the less obvious things in terms of advancement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough one because, for me personally, in sport can be such a wonderful place for young girls, learning to, develop who they are as individuals, create, independence, resilience, build confidence. But also you're under the guise of maybe a mentor or a coach. And, if there is something, untoward going on, they can feel on their own, and you're meant to feel, well, is this how it's supposed to be? Am I right? Am I not? And a lot of young girls can see sport as a negative and then either leave the sport or come away more damaged. We've seen athletes with eating disorders and disordered eating, and it's a sad state of affairs that a lot of these young athletes are put in this position. But there are so many benefits that these athletes could get into that we do need to support more around protecting them, but also allowing them to grow and to be in these independent athletes. As Mona rightly said, it's not a given. It's not something that is a right. I am a female. I'm a woman. Therefore, I automatically should be, in this position. There is an element of having to earn for it, and that's where training comes in. You work hard for it. It's not always going to go according to plan. You're going to be successful. You're not going to be successful. It's all kind of part of the trials and tribulations of life. But we do need to protect and support, without taking advantage and making sure that these young women are not taken advantage of, so that they don't leave their sport going into the sort of the real world of, this is what's expected. I'm just going to be, walked over. I'm just going to be taken advantage of. So it's a tough one to fully discuss it. I've been fortunate enough that I've not been in this position, so I can't say it from a position of I understand and I know. I've seen it and you hear about it, and there's been a couple of sorts of studies coming out, especially around Swim England at the minute, which haven't been great. But for me, I'm always trying to look at the positives to try and uplift. And I know there's a lot of men, women, coaches, athletes willing to support the sort of growth and development of women's sports.
Horse, your new album cover has an image of you that is strong, that is confident. Well, you describe it. Don't let me do it. Go on.
I'm still getting used to it, actually. It's I would say it's uncompromising. It's me. It's a sort of side view, dramatic background and just my face. It's taken me a good week or so since the photo shoot to get used to it, but I like it because it's a strong, older woman.
Was that what you told the photographer you wanted from it?
He knows me well, and it was the very last shot in the whole shoot, which is interesting because I just kind of went, yes. And you see that look in my face. And the album's called The Road Less Travelled, and it's about where I am as an older woman and gay and all those different things. And it's like, well, you know what, I'm not going anywhere. And the music on it represents the journey I've had in the last 10 or so years. So it's interesting, and what's really fantastic about it is the visibility of that image, the kind of uncompromising. You see straight away who I am by looking at that photograph, and it's just so dramatic and uncompromising that I've found that by being here, just by existing for all of those different things, it's very positive for other women and other people out there to see.
When's it out?
The launch is May the 25th at the CCA, and there's no going back. It's been a long journey to get to this, but love it.
It looks great. Horse, thank you so much for your time this morning. Hannah Miles and Professor Mona Siddiqui as well. Thank you all for being with me. This International Women's Day, it's 10:30 on a Friday morning. It's BBC Radio Scotland.
This is a special message for the radio award judges. You've overlooked our show again, but we never hold grudges. Listeners enjoy the show and we're all doing fine. So stick your stupid awards where the sun don't shine. The Chris Moyle Show.
Still to come with me this morning, we're going to meet the academic who is campaigning to get more women to edit and feature women on Wikipedia. And
if you don't want to party, then you should go home. We got this dad and 6 9 that got it going on.
Here again, if you get Station Guide, our What's On Guide is full of low-cost or no-cost ideas from right around Scotland. If you've got one you want us to share with everyone else, it's Stephen at bbc.co.uk.
Morning.
And the category is
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
real nigga that right here, over there, over there, over there, over there. Where the real niggas at right here, over there, over there, over there, over there. Where the real niggas right here, over there, over there, over there, over there. Where the real niggas right here, over there, over there, over there, over there. Where the real niggas right here, over there, over there, over there, over there.
trick, I ain't no snitch, I ain't no rat. I'm the 20,000 to pop every stop when I'm touring. I'm the fire on the last verse, make them say, ain't the same ordinary, everyday rapper. I kill Kenny, so I guess I'm that bastard.
Where the hot boys at? Right here, over there, over there, over there. Where the hot girls at? Right here, over there, over there, over there. Where the hot boys at? Right here, over there, over there, over there. Where the hot girls at? Right here, over there, over there, over there.
I'm the beast that say bring it on if you want to. From the city where we known, baby, for what we gon' do. I'm the lady alligator, so you can come in that water. I'm the migraine in your head, thumping harder and harder. I'm that boss hog holding, cock a squat. Dead smack on your face like that infrared dot. I'm the index finger on the trigger, don't move. Whoops, so you blink your eyes, now you gon' make the news. If I catch you in the club and you start to trip in, I'm the fist and brass knuckles that's gon' hit your chin. All the snitches sitting down with the feds to yap. I'm that loud hawk on the rat trap. I'm the drama in your heart when your people get killed. I'm the feeling in your stomach when you get your last meal. I'm the hardcore, undisputed hip-hop diva. I'm the lady on report card day. I'm Mama Mia.
Where the real boys at? Where they at? Right here, over there, over there. Where the real boys at? Right here, over there, over there. Where they at?
I'm the past that always seem to come back and haunt you. I'm the 4-5 carrier, Mr. the grenade launcher. With the gun, they be asking where the dollar's at. I'm the 100, everybody trying to holler at. I be the bullet that they pay me, keep off your I be the reason why you didn't pass, the reason why you cut class. I be the reason why they buried you, they carried you. I be put the wood in your fiance, the reason why she didn't marry you. I be the nigga trying to keep around, hang around your sister. I be the nigga call the shocker, you might talk mister. Now I got mob ties, I'ma get a wise guy. Military minded, in the foul line, all them pull off the drive-by. Think it's over like the last song, like all the cash gone. Add to the throne, cause I'm a little brother, the last dawn. Look, big fish and cake mix, slick loose lips ain't ship. Plus I got a pair of seaman shoes that I make fit. You're fake shit, keep an ice wrist, keep it tight. Squeeze the trigger, keep a tight grip. Infrared on my shit so I don't miss. Nah, I'm that razor cut dope. I was a member of the 504. Man, you the one they call Vito. Yeah, that's me.
Where the hot boys at? Where they at? Where they at? Right here, over there, over there. Where the hot girls at? Where they at? Where they at? Right here, over there, over there.
I'm the enemy behind, so watch your back. When a live round hit the chamber, I'm that click clack. When you run, I'm the danger. I'm the smack in the pimp slap. I'm this shit that bubble up when you cook that crack. Hooked up the party when I pull my strap. With all the hoes I be trying to match. I was Scarface, sniffing with his nose and coat. Taught your little brother how to cook that dope. The first on the block to make your mama deep throat. I'm the hustler with the watches in the coat.
Where they at? Where the real girls at? Where they at? Where the hot boys at? Where they at? Where they at? Where the hot girls at? Where they 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 at?
I'm the balls on your cell, I'm the fire down in hell. I'm the ice cream bells, I'm the gas you pump the shell. I'm the wheels on the tank. I'm the $1 million that you want from the bank. I'm the diamond on the ring. I'm your brains when you think. I'm your bartender with your drinks. I'm OJ without a shame. I'm the MF, my. I'm the clothes that you wear when you want to jump shive. I'm the super in dome. I'm the C and chrome. I'm the hurricane that knocked down your mother right home. I'm the K and killer. I'm the D and drug dealer. I'm the G and gangster. I'm the realest that you ever want to meet when you walking on the street. I'm the gold on your teeth. I'm the Nikes on your feet. I'm the that moan when he rap. I'm the ran through your fucking hood and bust caps. I'm the with these rhymes. I'm the last dime and I'm in this mother cause it ain't no more time.
On a Friday morning. Spring is in the air. Every Friday, our gardening expert, Nicholas Singleton, is here to help with free gardening advice for you this morning. So whether it be something that you want to change about the garden this year, maybe something didn't work out so well in the garden last year and you want to sort it and make sure it's okay this year. Maybe you're doing some new planting ahead of the season ahead. Whatever your questions, Nicholas here just after 11 with free advice. You can text the questions in 80295. If you want to send a pic of something that is not looking looking very happy in the garden at the moment. It is Stephen at bbc.co.uk, or you can give us a call 08085 92 95 00, and Nicola joins me live this morning to look ahead to our gardening surgery. Morning, Nicola.
Morning, Stephen. Everything's looking happy in the garden, is it not, today?
Well, yeah, I have a bit of a confession to make to you this morning.
Oh, no.
So, Nicola gave me 2 plants to look after over the course of this year, and we're only, 3 weeks into since she gave me those plants. One is not looking very happy.
Oh, Stephen. What's going on?
The wee one was replanted, not by me, but I will take responsibility for it because you gave it to me to do. And it's the roots are still fine, but there's not much happening above the roots. But it's going to be okay, I think.
Okay, right. Don't overwater it. If it's looking a bit iffy, don't overwater it.
That's what I did this morning. Anyway, let's not talk about that anymore because it's making me nervous. Let's talk about.
I don't want to bring it up then.
Let's talk about Mother's Day instead. This Sunday, the petrol station flowers will be flying out the door this weekend. Give us some suggestions, Nicola, for good gifts for Mother's Day that don't involve flowers from your local forecourt.
Well, I do like a bunch of flowers. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, I think today, I'm feeling really inspired by all the women that you've been speaking to, Stephen. And I thought, well, let's, how can we empower the mums, all those hardworking mums that, just get on with it and have to do so many jobs, juggling. So if you're not going for the petrol station flowers, then I was thinking a lovely treat for your gardening mum might be some sort of gardening course or a gardening workshop. So this could be just a little treat for her. So it's a bit of time that she can have some of her own time, and she can just look into something that you've chosen for her that might be. So there's loads of online resources. There's loads of stuff. There's also in-person things that go on. A lot of gardening events and workshops, they can be free. You can get taster sessions that might lead you to getting more involved. But I think it's just if there's something that's kind of on the edge of their interest in the garden. So it might be wildflowers. So the Field Studies Council, they offer lots of short courses. Most of them are online. And I looked at things like botanical folklore. I mean, that just sounds, I'd love to try that. And then you've got things like wildflowers, coastal plants or woodland plants. Maybe if you've got, you might have a woodland part in the garden. So, to do a wee course on that, find out what sort of plants are going to thrive there. I think that'd be a lovely treat. And this one made me laugh, Stephen, was you can sign up for a slug identification course. I know that many mums would want to do it, but you never know.
What do you do with that information when you know what the slug is?
Well, I suppose if you see them in the garden, then you know which are the bad ones and which are the good ones.
Are there any good ones?
There's lots and lots of different species. No, there's lots of different species, and there's only about 7 or 8 that do the bad damage. So yeah, it could come in handy.
Fair enough. Tell us about International Women's Day, celebrated throughout the programme this morning. Nicola, who are the women that inspire you?
Oh, well, I think some of the people that I work with in the gardening world that just get on and try and they're always learning, they're always trying to spread the word, the knowledge about gardening. And I think also, like my mum made me, your mum has a big influence on you. And my mum, before she met my dad, before she got married and settled down, she qualified as a physiotherapist, and she headed off to Canada on her own, didn't know anybody. She got a job, and she worked as a physiotherapist, and she her specialism was rheumatism, all sorts of different types of rheumatism. And she had a travelling van, and we've got photographs of her in her uniform in the van, sort of heading off around Canada. And we've also got some photos of the high times that she had and all the people that she met. So I think that gives you a sort of sense of, just go out and grab things in the world and do what you can and make your mark.
Anything
so I think
is
she
possible.
was a big influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you missed this earlier, but somebody mentioned you as well. Inspirational figures on International Women's Day. Yes. Yeah. And it wasn't your husband.
No, I'm sure he wouldn't say that. You know what you say, familiarity breeds contempt.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Right, you're back with me in 25 minutes' time for gardening surgery, Nicola. So whether you want to talk about lawns or window boxes, indoor plants, or what you're going to be planting this year, if you got round to that, bulbs, whatever the question, Nicola's here to help. The advice is free. All you have to do is text us, 80295, or give us a call, 08085 92 95 00. 10:40 on a Friday. Time for this. What's on Guide. If you've got space in the diary this weekend, we've got lots of low-cost or no-cost ideas for things for you to do. We're going to take you this week to Dumfries and Galloway. We're going to be in Fife. We're going to be in Glasgow. But we're starting in Cumnock this morning. Janie Hendry, Chief Executive of Yip World, Super Family Saturday event. Big build-up there, Janie. Morning.
Good morning, Stephen, and my name's Janice.
Oh, well. Yeah, you've been misspelled. That's a bad start, isn't it? Janice, Janice it is. What's happening tomorrow, Janice?
Tomorrow we have our family fun day in our venue in Yip World in the Bar Hill Road in Cumnock. It's open to all families living in the Cumnock and surrounding areas to come along between 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock and take part in a whole range of different activities like the PlayStation, computers, pool tables, arts and crafts, dominoes, cards, board games. There's an inflatable playground as well for younger children. There'll be lots of snacks, coffees, teas, biscuits. And it really is just about families getting together and enjoying time themselves without any cost. So they don't have to put their hand in their pocket. They can just come along in a safe, warm environment and have fun together.
And tea and coffee. And cake as well.
And cake. Lots of cake. Absolutely.
Where's it taking place, Janice?
It's taking place in our venue in Yip World, and that's in the Bar Hill Road in Cumnock. It's just on... just across from the old Green Mill Primary School. Many people know about where we are now. We've been operating for 24 years in the community and counting, so yeah, we're well known.
Janice, have a great day tomorrow. Janice Hendry, Chief Executive of Yip World, Super Family Saturday event taking place in Cumnock. Tomorrow, line 2. This morning, Sharon O'Rourke, event organiser, Clyde Shopping Centre. Sharon, good morning.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. 4th year for this event. Tell us all about it.
But you know, I actually counted it up. It's actually the 8th year.
Oh.
I can't believe
I'm doing well this morning, aren't I?
No. So we're looking to do a fantastic day, a free Mum's Pampers Day at Clyde Shopping Centre. So there'll be free manicures, free facials, free massage, free hairstyling, and lots of free things for the children.
Brilliant. All part of Mother's Day weekend celebrations, I'm guessing as well. Tell me where it's going to take place in the centre and timings. That's important as well.
Yeah, sure. So it's Clyde Shopping Centre. It'll be right across from Primark. 12 to 3. You don't have to book in. All the appointments are free of charge. People just come along. It's first come, first gets.
I think you might have quite a queue. I'm suspecting.
We always do.
Free massage, free hair, free makeup.
Yeah, chocolates. And there's also, we're giving away a free raffle prize worth £35. It's a lovely basket of lots of nice Mother's Day gifts from a selection of the shops in the centre. So, yeah, it's going to be a fantastic day.
Do you know, Sharon, there's going to be a big queue tomorrow, and in the middle of that queue, there's going to be one bloke, isn't there?
That's fine, you're always welcome.
Sharon, thank you so much. Sharon O'Rourke, the event organiser, Clyde Shopping Centre, their big weekend for Mother's Day, 12 till 3 tomorrow. We're off to Fife next this morning. Kat Gilmore there. Bowhouse, fantastic food and drink market in the east of Fife. Kat, morning.
Good morning, Stephen. How's it going?
Good today, thank you for asking. What's happening this weekend?
So it's our first market of 2024. We're back with a bang. It's the March market is this weekend, both days, Saturday and Sunday, 10 till 4. We've got 30 local food and drink stalls and 25 craft stalls from Tea Green Events. Lots of food and lots of drink and music.
For those people that haven't been, Kat, explain what it's like. It's an amazing space that you've got.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a farm venue in the East Neuk of Fife. We're between St Moniz and Ely. We're basically in a big, what looks like a cattle shed. We're a fantastic venue with a local butchery and brewery and cafe and bakery on site as well that's open every week.
Give us the timings, Kat, and just give us a rough idea so people can find you.
Yeah, no problem. So we're open 10 till 4 on both days, Saturday and Sunday, free entry. And you need to, if you're coming from the west, just be aware there is a wee bit of a diversion on there at the minute. So it might take an extra 5 minutes. But we're in between St Bonans and Ely on the coast.
It'll be worth the wait, I know. Kat, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bow House there, their first food and drink market of 2024. Last but not least this morning, we're off to my neck of the woods, Dumfries and Galloway. Susie Briggs is host of the Doonhame Queens in Dumfries. Susie, good morning.
Hello.
Tell us all about it. What's happening?
So Doonhame Queens is planned for International Women's Day. So that's on tonight at 7 p.m. at the Stove in Dumfries High Street. And women are invited to share their poetry on the open mic. But the first half will be launching Mucky Pup by Eileen H. Irvin. And all funds raised from that will be donated to Dumfriesshire and Stuart Ray Women's Aid.
Susie, I don't know if you had the phone in this morning. I was asking for who are your inspirational women? Who are the women who inspire you? Who would you choose?
My mother. She is a queen herself. A queen on queen, she really is. And she's fierce and she's kind.
She's made you the woman that you are.
She really has. Aye.
Is she the Queen of the South?
Aye, I would say so.
Susie, give us the timings. And this is at the Mid-Steeple in Dumfries, isn't it?
It's between the Mid-Steeple and the fountain. And so there's a wee cafe there called the Stove Cafe. And it's on at 7 p.m, starts for 7:30. And the theme for the open mic is just about celebrating women. And you can come up and do a wee poem, a story or a song. And I'll be blethering with Helen Powell, who is Eileen's best friend. And we'll be talking about what it was like to be a woman in the 50s and 60s in Dumfries, and about going to the jigging and all that kind of thing. That'll be a good laugh.
I bet Oatens will get a mention in there. Anyway, listen, let's not talk about that. Susie, thank you very much. Have a great night tomorrow night. Susie Briggs there, host of Doonhame Queens. If you've got an event coming up you want to share with the rest of Scotland, let us know about it and we'll pass it on. You can email Stephen at bbc.co.uk or you can text us 80295.
Memphis Wrestling is on fire. Join us live this Sunday, March 10th. Everybody dies. The Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, returns to Memphis Wrestling. Plus, Cowboy James Storm and Reality of Wrestling champion Will Alday. That's this Sunday at the Wrestle Center. Next Friday, March 15th, WWE SmackDown is live at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. Get your tickets at FedEx Forum box office or Ticketmaster.com. Next Saturday, March 16th, don't miss TupeloCon, featuring VIP Championship Wrestling with Austin Idol, Steve Kern, and boxing legend Butterbean. Sunday, March 24th, TNA Superstar Hammerstone is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Saturday, April 20th, Memphis Wrestling is coming to Little Rock for the Arkansas Travelers Wrestling Night. Get your tickets at milb.com/Arkansas. Sunday, April 21st, Buff Daddy returns to Memphis Wrestling. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Morning, still to come. Is here just after 11 this morning, so if you've got a question, whether you're a green-fingered beginner, enthusiast, whatever you happen to be, get your questions in. Text 80295.
Well, what do we have here?
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
I wouldn't lie to you. I want you to be ready to get on, because I got some old nasty ass shit to talk tonight. Need somebody. Come on, God.
Get it, girl. Get it, girl. I'm the only man that can rock your world.
Come with me and let me
get it, girl.
Come on, God.
Get it, girl.
Come on, God.
Get it, girl.
Come on, God.
I've been looking at you for a while with your big round ass and a pretty smile. Every guy call you sexy, but your man is weak. We can't satisfy you, baby. I'm your freak.
If you want a real man, the man is me. Come into my world, I'm your fantasy. Cause where you're going is into my world. Just straight up London. Come in,
get it, girl.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
Get it, don't stop. When you come to me, all you do is ask, cause your fulfillment is my only task. I won't mislead you or mistreat you. I'll just kiss, hug, and squeeze you.
When you think of me, loving's on your mind. It's written in the books that I'm one of a kind. I like making love 7 days a week. Not like your man, I'm just a freak.
Yo man, did you wrong? Now it's my turn. After all this dick, I know you will learn. Cause there ain't another who can rock your world. Just open those legs, let me get it, girl. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. Get it, girl.
You know, it might be hard to do this next item without getting into a whole lot of trouble because of language, but let's give it a go. Olivia Colman has recently criticised double standards when it comes to swearing, saying women who swear are treated differently from men. The impact of women swearing is examined in her latest film, Filthy Little Letters, which is in cinemas now. So is there a gender swear gap? Let's talk about this first with Dee Maxwell, comedian and serial swearer. Dee, morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Nervous, that's how I am. Without swearing, what makes swearing good for you, especially as a performer?
And an honest answer is sometimes the total horror in the older generation of men that maybe come to my shows, and I've had people come up and say, your dad must be proud. Not never your mum, but your dad must be proud. So definitely, but I just love the shock and the impact it makes, if I'm totally honest.
The shock and the impact. Is it a generational thing, do you think, Dee?
I think it's getting better because usually it's my older audience. It's maybe older guys, you know, old school guys. Generally now it's not as bad, but it still has impact when it's a woman doing it and not a man.
Does it make you funnier when you use it at certain moments in a performance? Does it give punctuation in a way that nothing else does to a punchline, maybe?
100%. It's like the Billy Connolly famous thing said that, you know, 100% it makes impact and everyone understands a sweary word.
What's the reaction that you've had? I mean, apart from that, have you ever had promoters talking to you about it? Do you think you get a different reaction compared to male comedians?
Definitely. I mean, some people would avoid going, no, he's too close to the bone. But I've looked at other men performers that are even more close to the bone, especially when you're using sweary language in an adult context as well. And it's like, it's definitely different. And it does, promoters will say, you know, maybe if you don't say that one in particular and you change it to that one, it maybe land better. You know, so that's a definite thing.
So men get away with stuff when it comes to swearing that women cannot get away with?
100%. Absolutely in the older generation. I do think it's diluting as we go down the generations, but definitely kind of old school, you know, where a woman should have been seen and done what she's told and all that kind of stuff, and they have to behave in a certain way. So I definitely think it can be a bit of a generational thing.
Dee, stay with us. Rebecca Roach is Senior Lecturer in Philosophy at Royal Holloway, joins us live this morning. Rebecca, good morning.
Good morning.
Do men and women swear differently?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a long-standing taboo about swearing in the presence of women and children. So there's this thought that women's ears are too delicate to deal with swearing. And, you know, similar double standards when it comes to women actually doing the swearing. So, you know, there's obviously sort of lots of different standards that women have been held to historically over sort of what counts as ladylike or, you know, acceptably demure. And swearing is part of that. Women aren't supposed to swear. I thought this was explored wonderfully in Wicked Little Letters, because, you know, you have this sort of, the punchline of the film is obviously, you know, sort of sweary letters addressed to a woman. But you've got this backdrop of just daft standards that women are expected to adhere to.
And has that legacy led men and women to use swear words differently, Rebecca?
Yeah, I mean, I expect somebody's done actual empirical research on this. But I think, you know, even if you're just sort of in informal company, you know, the sort of contexts where people can sort of just let their guard down and swear in a casual way that's not necessarily aggressive or anything like that. I think, you know, you'll find sort of women will do that in a much more relaxed way when they're with other women or sort of really trusted men. But, you know, if you get situations where, you know, say a woman is in a pub with her parents' friends, then she might hold back in a way that the men wouldn't. So I think you've got this sort of lingering standard of, you know, sort of what the older generation has to say about ladylike behaviour and what sort of language women can use.
What comes through really strongly in the film, Rebecca, Wicked Little Letters, is the way it has changed down the years. You know, little minx seems to be a huge term of swearing abuse back in Victorian times. Now something that most people, well, it's the name of a band, isn't it, just about? How is swearing changing down the generations and the way that we use swear words? How does that evolve?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, what we regard as the most offensive, powerful swear words today are, I mean, that's something that's changed over time. So, you know, since the Victorian times, where there was this sort of quite prudish set of values, the swear words that have to do with sex really became quite powerful. Whereas before, I mean, there was also always sort of vulgar sort of language, but not the sort of powerful, offensive swear words that they're considered today. And then by contrast, in the past, blasphemy was much more powerful than it is today. Sort of really vivid example is the Rhett Butler's line in the movie Gone with the Wind, which was, I think, 1939, where he says, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," which sounds sort of really tame today. I mean, it's almost polite. But back then it was really controversial. There was discussion about whether that was actually too powerful to include in the film. So I think, you tend to find that what the most offensive swear words are track society's values. So, a society cares less, at least British society in general, I guess, as we care less about religion, we become more secular, then the religious themed swear words have less of a punch.
Fascinating. We're out of time, I'm afraid, on this, but we've managed to navigate it with.
She's riding shotgun and she looks like a star. Yeah, she's got the style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She says she likes it better when we go off-road. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. Gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart. The sky is blue, I got the sun in my eyes. It can't get better than when she makes that smile. Yeah, she's got that style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She's turning up the volume on the radio. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. I'm gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart. Ticket to my heart. Uno, dos, tres,
Liam and Joanna are going to go head to head in our Friday Showdown quiz. Who will go onto our winner's wall? Stay tuned to find out. And a special International Women's Day edition of our Bad Parents Club. This week we're going to talk about Mother's Day and dressing up at school.
And your choice is...
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
I've got a new age girl. Tell us what she's like. Environmentalist girl. Does she ride a bike? She has a crystal necklace. She spends a lot of cash. Well, her vibes are rather reckless. She's heading for a crash. Or her flowing skirt is blowing drives a whipping car. How does she like it? It doesn't get her far. Why she doesn't bike it, but it gets her to where she's going. I don't know where that is. I wish I knew. Don't know where she's going and I don't know where she's been. All I know that loving her has gotta be a sin. Mary Moon, she's a vegetarian. Mary Moon, Mary Moon, Mary Moon will outlive all the septuagenarians. Mary Moon, Mary Moon, oh, she loves me so she hates to be alone. She don't eat meat, but she sure like the bone. Mary Moon, will you hesitate? Don't segregate your thoughts from your emotions. Mary Moon, I know devotion isn't way up Mary Moon, she's a vegetarian. Mary Moon, Mary Moon, Mary Moon will outlive all the septuagenarians. Mary Moon, Mary Moon, Mary Moon, she's an intellectual. Mary Moon, Mary Moon, Mary Moon, despite that fact, remains quite sexual. Mary Moon, 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 she's the one for me, me.
On a Friday morning, time for our gardening surgery. Our gardening expert, Nicola Singleton, is here with us every Friday on the programme to answer all your gardening questions. Earlier, we had a chat about gardening gifts. Any questions you've got about lawn, window boxes, indoors, outdoors, give us a call. 08085 92 95 00 or 80295 if you want to text us. Nicola's live in the potting shed with us this morning. Nicola? There she is.
Hi again, Stephen.
All
yes,
set.
I'm here.
All set. It's looking busy this
Poised.
morning. Let's jump into line one this morning. 08085 92 95 00 if you want to give us a call. Mary, hopefully not too contrary. How does your garden grow?
Hello.
Morning. This is Rosie's.
Hello.
It's a Rosie's question, Mary, isn't it?
It is, yes, it is. My husband's always dealt with the gardening and he's been ill for a wee while now and he can't do it anymore. So this year I thought I really need to do something. So I'm kind of really a beginner. But what I was wondering, if you wouldn't mind, Nicola, people are saying to prune them just now and cut them down. But I've got some with like little round balls and they're still a reddy orange colour. I don't know what that is. I'm really sorry. I'm useless.
Oh, no, don't worry, Mary. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help.
So I don't know whether I cut them off just now, even although they've not gone dead yet. Do I just cut everything?
Right, so this sounds like it might be rose hips that are still on the plant. So are they kind of orangey red in colour?
Yes,
Does that
that's
sound
right.
Okay, yeah. So that's what they are. They're called rose hips, and that's just basically they're full of seeds. So the birds enjoy them generally through the winter, and we get nice colour from them. And some people, use them in flower arranging and things like that. So if you've still got them on the plant, it's nothing to worry about. It's just basically last year's old seed heads, and they'll often just stay on the plants right through the winter. So yes, when you're doing your pruning now, Mary, I'm assuming that this is possibly some sort of rather than it being like a smaller bush rose, it's a sort of hybrid.
They're kind of a climbing roses against the house. We've got a few climbing roses.
Okay. So yeah, I was going to say it's possibly more of a shrub type rose, or if it's got the hips, or it could be a climber. So yes, you're quite safe to cut these off. And when you're doing the pruning, just make sure you want to create a strong framework of healthy branches. If you've got any really old, broken, or sort of branches that look brown or dead, they can go back, cut them back completely. If you've got branches, really spindly branches that are less than, they're less than the thickness of a pencil, I would take them off completely as well. And then try and make sure that you're pruning so that you're cutting back to a bud on each branch, and the bud should be facing out the way from the middle of the bush. So does that make sense? So if you look up the stem, you'll see little buds sticking out, and just prune back to just above them, and then that bud is going to grow out as your new branch for the year. And also, if it is a climbing rose, this is a great time to try and kind of, if anything needs tied in carefully to, if you've got wires or if you've got some sort of support for the rose, this is a really good time to tie it in as well, to make sure it's nice and supported before it starts to grow. Because once they start to grow, and if they've got, the thorns, it can be quite a challenge. We have one that grows out quite far, and I'm always getting into trouble for not pruning it back and tying it in fast enough.
Okay. The other thing that, they've got some little pink leaves still there that still look healthy, but they all get cut off as well just now.
Yeah, well, they might be your new shoots. So they might be the new shoots starting to come out. Do they look really sort of fresh and just as if they're unfurling?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the rose telling you it's starting to, come into growth. So if you've got branches where the branch looks healthy, it doesn't look too long, it doesn't look too tall, I would leave those ones. But there'll be some where it's maybe like a spindly branch and the growth starting right at the tip. You maybe want to prune them back in terms of shape and strength. So don't be worried about pruning them off, because the next one down will just start to grow out in its own time after you've done the pruning.
That's lovely. Nicola, can I ask one more thing?
Go ahead.
One more thing. At the back,
you've got lots. Stephen, I don't know.
All right.
I've gone for a cup of tea. Help yourself, Mary.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, Stephen. At the back, I've got lots of ivy and conifers. Is this a good time just to trim them all down?
The ivy, yes, you can do trimming on the ivy. Now, it's really vigorous, so it tends to come back. So ivy, yes. With the conifers, I would say be careful when you prune conifers, because a lot of them, if you cut into the old brown growth in the middle, a lot of conifers don't come back from that. So just be quite careful when you're pruning the conifers. Try to keep to the newer growth on the outside of the bush. So don't go too deep into the brown growth.
And it's okay to do it just now?
Yes, I would say it's a good time to start. I mean, we're still going to get a bit of weather, I'm sure, but the plants themselves are starting to grow, as you say, with the rose, and the shoots are starting to come out. So I would say yes, go for it now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Our pleasure, Mary. Happy gardening to you, Mary. Thank you very much for your call. 08085 92 95 00, or you can text us this morning. It is 80295 on the text. Back to the phone lines, though. Jean is waiting in the wings this morning. Morning, Jean.
Oh, good morning.
Morning. What's your question for Nicola?
Hi.
Hi, Nicola. It's with regard to a lilac tree we have at the back of the garden. It's in a very sort of sheltered spot. It's 80 years old, and it's formally grown about its boughs about 45 degrees across the wall. And it's when it's in bloom, it's really quite nice. But latterly, say last year, the boughs dropped to say about 60 degrees, maybe with weight, and there was a bit of a pest or something in the middle of the summer, and we thought about doing something then about it, but we're advised to wait till between sort of up till March time. So the tree is in bud just now, but it looks a bit sad because the boughs is down, and we just sort of wondered, is it wise to go ahead and prune it, even slightly, or prune it back hard? You're not sure.
Right. So the bough that you're worried about, do you know roughly what circumference it is? Just approximately.
Approximately, it would be roughly, say, 8-10 inches.
Okay, right. Okay, so it's just to kind of gauge before I say to cut things off. It's just to gauge really how mature it is. I don't want to sort of say yes, go for it, and then I'm telling you the wrong advice. So yeah, so this is, they're best to be pruned whilst they're dormant, but lilacs produce their flowers on the growth that they produced last year. So you just have to be aware, Jean, when you're pruning just now, you might be cutting off some branches that potentially would have flowers on them. So that's why I'm just saying, bear that in mind when you start. And also you'll probably be able to see, if you look carefully onto the branches and where you see the new growth coming, you'll actually see the flower buds. You'll see leaf buds, which you can tell they just look like the sort of thin leaves coming. But if it's a flower bud, it will be much plumper, and you'll see it looks as if it's got lots of little circles in it, almost. So that's the bud. So try not to remove too much of the flower buds. But this branch that you're worried about that's gone right down, and if it's coming straight out of the trunk, I would say cut it off completely right back to the trunk of the tree. Okay. So that you're taking that whole branch off, assuming, first of all, that you've got other branches that are growing further up from that one. I presume you have, though, Jean.
Sorry? I haven't done anything to the tree at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's got lots of other branches apart from the ones you're worried about. Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. I would take that one that you're worried about. I would take it off completely. And if you feel that it's getting very congested in the middle, if there's any sort of dying or brown branches, I would take them off completely as well. So you're actually maybe using almost like a wee saw to like a pruning saw to cut the branch off. And when you cut the branch off that you're worried about, don't go right to the trunk to make it smooth. You're just leaving what they call a collar, which is just about a centimetre or two of the old branch coming out from the trunk. So you're just leaving a wee bump of the branch. You're not going right back to make it smooth, just so that it heals over well for you. And the other thing I would say, if it's not done too well last year, I would maybe just check what's growing around the base of it and check it's not competing with too many, grass or anything, too much grass, and also give it a mulch. If you've got homemade compost or a bag of compost or even some used compost out of your pots from last year, put a nice thick layer of that around the base of it. Give it a bit of a treat to give it a feed.
That's lovely,
Jean,
that'll help once you've done your pruning.
Good luck, Jean. Let us know how you get on. Send us a pic as well. We always like to see these things, don't we, Nicola? 80295. Yeah, it helps, doesn't it? Actually, mulch might come into this next answer as well. Mandy, near West Calder this morning. Hi, I'd like to know how Nicola deals with big ceramic outdoor pots. I've inherited a couple of them. I'm not sure if there's a better way to fill the volume of them up than with compost, 100% compost. What would Nicola think?
Okay, this is a really good one, actually. So this is a good wee tip. So depending on what you're growing in them, Mandy, if you've got massive pots, if you're just putting in, temporary plants like bedding plants, colour for the summer, that type of thing, then you can fill the bottom of that big heavy pot with something like old recycled polystyrene, if you can get hold of something like that. Or if you've got, I've even used old plastic pots and things just to put in the sort of lower level of the pot, and then from about halfway up fill up with compost, because it's so expensive and so heavy. And when they're really deep like that, if you're just growing bedding plants, they don't really need the depth of the compost, and you'll probably end up feeding your bedding plants as well. So halfway up with compost, and the bottom section just being filled with something like light polystyrene is a brilliant tip, because it makes it much easier. But if you were putting in something like, I don't know, a small tree or something that was going to be there permanently, then what I would put in the bottom is maybe about up to about 10 centimetres of gravel or stones, something for drainage, and then I would fill the rest with compost, because that's a plant that's going to be staying in there for such a long time. So that you've got two options, Mandy, but if it's just a temporary plant, I'd go for the polystyrene option. Good way to recycle your polystyrene.
Indeed. Good luck, Mandy. Also in West Calder, Ross this morning. I've just ordered a climbing rose online, which arrived today. When is the best time to plant it? And is there anything specific I should be doing about getting it in the ground?
Right. Yes, go for it, Ross. Now's the time. It's quite damp today. There's no frost around, so just avoid frost. But I would get it in the ground as soon as possible. Often when you buy things online, they'll come what's called bare root. So you'll just have the roots in maybe a little bit of soil and probably in a plastic bag. So take the roots out the bag. if there's any that are damaged, you can gently trim a few centimetres off the bottom of the roots quite safely, because those roots will just grow back really easily. And then I would take the rose and I would soak it in a bucket of water before you plant it. And I would say soak it in a bucket of water, even overnight, for quite a few hours, just to make sure it's really got nice and moist again. In case it's kind of dried out a bit in its journey to you. Plant it, make sure that you plant it so the roots are in the ground, but you'll see there'll be what they call the graft. There'll be like a kind of bump at the very base of the stem. Make sure that's above ground, and lean the rose in at a slight angle towards if it's going on a trellis or a wall or whatever. So you want to be maybe about 30 centimetres out from the wall or the support, and lean it in towards what is going to grow up, and water it well. Plant it with if you've got some homemade compost, then that'd be fantastic. Mix plenty of that in and water it, and then put a mulch. Yes, Stephen, my mulch has come up again.
Ross,
put a mulch round the roots.
Good luck with that, Ross. And again, let us know how you get on. We always like to know how these things turn out. Right, give us the gardening jobs for the weekend. What should we be doing this weekend, Nicola?
Right, Stephen. Well, get your early seed potatoes going. So you maybe have started these already. I've put mine in the greenhouse under a bit of fleece in case we get a frost. So put your early seed potatoes in a tray in a lit, frost-free place to get them to start sprouting before you plant them, because that just gives you a better yield in the end. And another quick job to do, if you haven't done it, again, you should really be getting this done by now. If you've got autumn fruiting raspberries, not the summer ones, but the autumn fruiting, cut all the old stems, all of them, completely down to the ground. That's really easy, and it means that you'll be encouraging the new stems for this year. So that's an easy one, because you don't have to choose a branch, you just have to cut all the stems down completely.
I think we can manage that. Nicola, happy gardening this weekend.
Thank you, Stephen, and you too.
Thank you. Gardening Surgery back with me next Friday in the programme. Right now we're at 11:25 on a Friday morning. BBC Radio Scotland.
Who's going home?
There's no way that's true.
How will the rest of them cope?
No!
Who's not telling the whole truth? When you know who's won before it hits the headlines. There's no feeling like live TV. However you're watching, a TV licence is your must-have pass to over 400 TV channels, with countless moments that we all love to talk about. And it also funds everything you love from the BBC, including live radio, like this.
Hi, I'm Jackie Brambles.
And I'm Pete Tom.
And we've both been remixed on 1FM.
Which means more essential dance music at the weekend.
And more of me at lunchtime.
And there's a remix in the mornings with Bruno Brooks.
Rise and shine with my brand new early morning breakfast show.
Right, Mr. Right?
And the afternoons are getting longer for me and the posse.
More of the cutting edge with Mark Goodyear.
Into the evening with a music band's guide to the boldest and best.
And something new to sample on Sunday.
With the best show presented by someone called Chris Evans, ever to appear on 1FM.
All this plus a moonlight mix after midnight with Lynn Parsons.
1FM brings you closer to the music 24 hours a day.
97 to 99, 1FM.
Still to come, this International Women's Day. Club is back in about 20 minutes' time. Vicky Johnson and Tonya Macari chewing through the big parenting stories of the week, talking about Mother's Day and dressing up for school.
This is.
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
I'm with you until 12 o'clock today. Then it's lunchtime live at noon. Andrew Black's on the show today. Andrew, good morning. What's coming up?
Hi, Stephen. Yeah, lots coming up today. The US military is going to build a port in Gaza to get more humanitarian aid into the territory by sea. We'll be finding out more about that. Also, Joe Biden has delivered a fiery State of the Union address, taking a lot of swipes at Donald Trump. So it's all getting very salty over in the US ahead of the election. A new report says that the scale of mass salmon farm deaths have increased around the world over the past decade. We're going to be speaking to the industry group which represents Scotland's salmon farming industry to try and get to the bottom of what's going on there. And we're also going to speak to the student who sparked a major incident after digging up a wartime bomb in Dumfries.
We'll look forward to hearing about that. Lunchtime Live starts at 12 o'clock right now. We're at 11:26. Right, a special treat for you this International Women's Day. She was with me earlier in the programme now. Here's the first world...
Oh, man. Oh, my eye. Man, this guy just walked up to me and punched me in my eye, man. Talking about I was trying to talk to this girl, man. I don't even know her, man.
Oh, man, that's dead. That's dead.
Man, yeah, give me some ice, man. Can't believe this, man. Look at my boy, Jeff. Listen, homeboys, don't mean to bust your bubble, but girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. The next time a girl gives you the play, just remember my rhymes and get the hell away. Just last week when I was walking down the street, I observed this lovely lady that I wanted to meet. I walked up to her, I said hello, she said hey, you're kinda cute. I said yes, I know, but by the way, sweetheart, what's your name? She said my friends like to call me Exotic Elaine. I said my name is the Prince. Then she said why? I said man, I don't know, I'm just a hell of a guy. But enough about me, let's talk about you and all the wonderful things that you and I could do. I popped some trash in a little bit of time. I showed some cash and the girl was mine. I took her on the town, I wined her and dined her. She asked me was I famous? I said, yeah, kind of. All of a sudden, she jumped out of seat, snatched me up by my wrist and took me out in the street. She started grabbing all over me, kissing and hugging, so I punched her in the chin. I said, you better stop bugging. She got mad, looked me dead in my face, threw her hands in the air and yelled out, Ray! I got scared when she started to yell, so I hit her with a trash can and ran like hell. I was ducking through alleys, right and left, but when the cops caught up, they almost beat me to death. Now I'm in prison, charged with aggravated assault, but I didn't do nothing. It was the dumb broad's fault. But nevertheless, don't mean to bust your bubble, but girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. So next time a girl gives you the play, just remember my rhymes and get the hell away. I was in a bar one Friday night, chilling out watching the Sugar Ray fight. I was kinda laid back, sipping a tequila when this girl walked up. She said, hi, my name is Sheila. I responded by saying hello. She paid for my drink and then said, let's go. She bought my drink, I thought that that was polite, so I walked out with her. I said, what's up for the night? She said, just sit in the car. So I obliged. About 20 minutes later, we pulled up in her garage. She parked the car, gave me some sexy looks. She started walking in the house. I said, I'm with you, toots. Soft music and wine in the glasses. And then she started to make little passes at me. She said, sweetheart, today's your lucky day, cause when I finish with you, you're gonna yell, Olay. She stood up, so I stood up with her. She popped it up, so I started to kiss her. She grabbed me close, and she got bold. She started feeling up my back. I said, ooh, your hands are cold. We went into her bedroom thinking of one thing. Took the phone off the hook to avoid the annoying ring. Pulled down the shades, then we dimmed the lights. Then we took a tasty sip of Reuniti on ice. I chewed a stick of double mint to freshen my breath. I gave her half of that stick, it was the last one left. I caressed her bod, then I kissed her cheek. That's when I observed those Gucci bed sheets. I felt that it was time for me to make my move. I thought I'd better hurry up before I busted a groove. I was kind of uptight and I knew she could soothe me. I tapped her on the shoulder, said, excuse me. She touched my lips and asked me not to speak. Got undressed and pulled back those Gucci bed sheets. Sat down on the bed, laid back. Her pretty head kicked her feet up on the pillows, and that's when she said that she wanted me to be her one and only. She said, lay down, baby doll, I'm getting lonely. All of a sudden, out of the blue, a door slammed and a voice said, baby, where are you? Instinctively, I panicked, my heart full of fear. She said, that's my boyfriend, baby, you better get out of here. Her boyfriend busted in, he grinned an evil grin. He said, boy, I'ma tear your butt limb from limb. I was scared as hell, where was I supposed to go? I just yelled, Geronimo, and jumped out the window. Just my luck, we were in a snowstorm. I didn't even have my underwear on to keep me warm. And to top the night off, I had to break in my place because my keys were in my pants back on Sheila's bookcase. I was done sneezing and coughing. Achoo! I hope this doesn't happen too often, but nevertheless, don't mean to bust your bubble. But girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. So next time a girl gives you the play, just remember my rhyme. Just remember my rhyme. Take heed to my rhyme and get the hell away. Man, girls are nothing but trouble, man. Yeah, well, can't live with them.
Can't live without him.
Better go take care of that house.
Yeah, man. All right, y'all stay cool, man. All right, chill, Frank.
It's gone 11:30. It's time for this.
The Friday Showdown.
Quiz. Two listeners go head to head for the title of Friday Showdown winner. Earlier this morning, I asked you, according to Forbes magazine, Tom Cruise was the best paid actor in the world in 2023. Is that true or is it false? Well, the answer is false. Tom Cruise, third best paid actor in 2023, behind Margot Robbie, and the number one on the list, Adam Sandler. We're joined now by two listeners who got their guesses in this morning. Well, actually, we've given a pass to Joanna in Aberdeen to come back this week because we managed to mess things up with her last week, which tends to happen when we do these things. Joanna, nice to have you back with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. You were robbed.
You
were robbed last week.
I was, and do you know what? I thought I was, and I just thought, oh, to hang, it's just fun. So
you were too polite.
I was really surprised when I heard from your researcher yesterday.
Well, we like to be.
Stephen's going to grovel an apology.
We like to be fair and transparent when we say we, nothing to do with me. When someone gets things wrong.
I know.
Up against you this week, Joanna, we've got Liam, who's in Coatbridge. Morning, Liam.
Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning, Liam.
Liam, are you a keen quizzer?
I am, but I don't want to say too much in case I get all these wrong.
You don't want to jinx it. Right, here's how this is going to work. And we've really carefully checked them this week. I'm going to ask you 3 questions relating to this week's news. Whoever gets the most right wins the Friday Showdown and goes on our leaderboard here in the studio. You've got a short time to answer. I'm going to keep the clock running on this. And if scores are even after 3 each, we'll have a tiebreaker, which happened last week. So here we go. We've got Joanna in Aberdeen up against Liam in Coatbridge. Let's find out who is our Friday Showdown champion. No pressure, it being International Women's Day and all that, Joanna. But you're up first this morning. The Brit Awards took place last weekend, but which artist or group were the only Scottish winners on the night? Was it A, Young Fathers, or B, Calvin Harris, Joanna? Which was it?
Pure guess. Young Fathers.
No.
I'm afraid, Joanna, it was Calvin Harris. Okay. It goes over to Liam in Coatbridge this morning. Question 1 for you, Liam, this morning is... what is question 1 for you this morning? This is going well. Oh, here we go. This week saw 3 abandoned animals being found at the Botanic Gardens in Glasgow. You might have seen this in the news, Liam. 3 abandoned animals. What were they? Were they A, snakes, or were they B, spiders?
I've got no idea, but I'm going to go snakes.
Yes! Goes 1 up on our Friday Showdown quiz. Pressure's building on Joanna this morning. Second question for you, Joanna. Who is this US politician who this week pulled out of the race to become the Republican nominee for president? Who is this?
I am filled with the gratitude for the outpouring of support we've received from all across our great country. But the time has now come to suspend my campaign.
Name that politician, Joanna.
Absolutely no idea. I'm going to have to pass. Not a clue.
It was Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay. There's still a chance. Here we go. Question 2 for Liam here. It's the Oscars this weekend in Los Angeles, Liam. But from which movie nominated for Best Picture is this Dua Lipa song featured? What movie is that from, Liam?
I would hazard a guess at Barbie.
You are our Friday Showdown winner for this week.
Yes. Do you believe in miracles?
Gets his name up on our leaderboard alongside Alfie in Nairn, Mrs. Hood in Hamilton, Gary in Rutherglen, and there's Catherine in Glasgow from last week up there as well. So Liam also got his name on the board. Right now we're at 11:37.
Baby, you know sometimes you make me want to scream.
Today, your brown eyes converted me and let me know that you're the right girl for me. You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need all the same. Shame to let someone else take my place. Now you've got me dreaming. I can tell without you being there. So stop this mistreating me. I wanna stay, I wanna lay you, I wanna be your man, be my girl. Be my girl, 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 be my girl. Way. All the girls I met were so full of play. It's not even a bother if I forgot their names. Oh yeah. In the minute I first saw you, that every teenage fantasy came true. But you looked the other way, and my walking for the day broke my spirit, broke my spirit. Now, you've got me dreaming, and I can't tell without you being there. So stop this mistreating me. Oh, I wanna stay. I wanna stay. I wanna lay with you. I wanna be your man. Be my girl. Be my girl. Be my girl. Be my girl.
at 11:41 on a Friday. It's become the go-to place on the internet for information about anything and everything. Launched 20 years ago, the online encyclopedia Wikipedia now features nearly 7 million entries. But a quick check reveals most are written by and about men as well. Well, academic Lucy Moore wants to change that, and she joins me live this morning. Lucy, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. When did you first notice this issue with Wikipedia?
So many people have noticed this issue with Wikipedia. I learnt to edit in 2019, and it was one of the first things that was brought to my attention, particularly as a woman starting out editing and contributing to Wikipedia. Yeah.
Why do you think there is less female representation and editing on Wikipedia?
Well, I think there's two issues there. So in terms of, the representation of women on Wikipedia, the majority of editors are men, and people tend to follow their own interests or follow topics that they feel confident in writing about. So there are, stereotypically, in 2022, there was research that showed there were more articles about football and footballers than women. So I think it's partly a confidence thing, but I also think it's partly in terms of content, it's about there also not being the amount of sources about women and about women's history. Women have underrepresented in historical discourse. So you need the sources in order to put women on Wikipedia. So there's kind of an interest thing, and then there's we need the material to ensure that these women's stories are known. And I think in terms of women editing, I think there are a number of different issues. I think women have, but most of all, I think women have usually less spare time to follow their interests. And I think that can be a real issue, particularly when you're learning a new skill, such as, editing Wikipedia.
And how did you go about doing it? Tell us your journey to becoming an editor, to hopefully maybe inspire some other women to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So my motivation to start editing was actually to edit about military history. I'd worked on a lot of First World War programmes, and I wanted to essentially write about men who were soldiers. And then at the event that I went to, there was a training workshop. They told me about kind of the issues around gender, and that just kind of switched my mind completely. I then went to a couple more different kind of workshops where you can learn to edit. And then I just sort of started carving out time in the evening to add paragraphs about different women to Wikipedia, and I built up to kind of adding individual articles.
And what we all get out of that is precious, wonderful information that you're able to share with the rest of us. What do you get from the process?
So there's satisfaction in knowing that you've told a woman's story and you're making it better known. I also find research quite relaxing. For me, it's quite a therapeutic thing to do. I think if you're the kind of person who can lose, quite a long time following links on Wikipedia or thoroughly searching something, then you might find it quite a relaxing thing to do too.
And this discussion really matters, Lucy, doesn't it? Because Wikipedia is now the go-to place for so many of us when we're looking for information about our world.
Absolutely. And I think I make biographies about women primarily, but there are also big gaps about women's health and medicine. And that content really needs to be expanded, and there are lots of amazing editors who are doing work on that, but there are whole areas of women's health issues that really need to be expanded, because as you say, it's where we go. We trust it in many ways, and it pops up first whenever you do an internet search.
So for women listening to this thinking, I can help and that's important, how can they get involved?
Well, if I can plug an event today online, is that okay?
Go on.
Yeah, so at the University of Edinburgh at 1 p.m, they're running an online editathon to teach you how to edit, to teach you how to make these changes. And if you search on Eventbrite for the words "Imagine a Gender Equal World," then that will take you there, and you can book a ticket and you could learn today you could learn in, 65 minutes. But there are also lots of online tutorials. People can reach out to me on social media as well. There's a charity called Wikimedia UK that encourages and supports new editors, and they really helped me. So you can go on their website and they will be happy to be contacted as well.
I was asking people during the phone, what are you doing for International Women's Day today? What a great thing to do that would be today, and get the ball rolling for other women as well. Lucy, thank you so much for sharing that with us this morning. Lucy Moore, academic Wikipedia editor as well. Right now we're at 11:47 on a Friday morning. BBC Radio Scotland.
It's about time they invented a game that teaches young ladies to act properly.
Well, I'll say so.
This game, Girl Talk, stresses manners.
Make a funny face and hold it for 30 seconds.
We dare you!
Girl Talk, the new game of truth or dare that lets girls be girls.
And it emphasizes poise and posture.
Well, good.
Girl Talk, it's just for girls.
On International Women's Day, it's time for this. It's a weekly meeting of our Bad Parents Club, chewing through the big parenting stories of the week. This is parenting in the real life, not as you see it in these aspirational guides. This is messy, messed up parenting, maybe even sometimes. Our panel this week, all-women panel, of course, for International Women's Day. Live with me in the studio this morning, mum of three, Vicky Johnston. Vicky, morning.
Good morning.
Lovely to see you. What did your necklace say this morning?
Victoria.
Yeah,
got
good.
my name on it.
Good. Just in case I got confused.
Yeah.
And joining us down the line this morning, another mum of three, Tonya McCarry, with us this morning. Tonya, morning.
Good morning. Well, I'm not wearing a necklace with Tonya on it, but I'm wearing my halo as usual, Stephen, so I hope that will suffice.
Is that a little tip for your husband for Mother's Day? If you want to get her something, a Tonya necklace would be very welcome.
Yeah, just a wee diamond thing would be fine.
That'd be fine, that'd be fine.
Yeah, fine.
The women that inspire you, Vicky, who would you choose?
Oh, well, obviously it's got to be your family, your grandmother's, your mother, and my friends. I have the most astounding network of friends who are always there for each other. Doesn't matter what it is, whether you need an opinion on a skirt or whether to leave your man, they're always there for you, and they're always right. They're always right.
That helps, doesn't it? Tonya, inspirational woman for you, or women, who would it be?
I like the way Vicky put the priorities there, whether to pick a skirt or leave your man. For me, it has to be the historical figures. And, as Vicky said, my grandmothers, both born, just before the First World War. My Italian granny came over from Italy, built a business, brought up 6 children, looked after them when my granddad was a prisoner of war, and just thought that she'd had a normal life. They were just so amazing and just have made it so much easier for us women today, trailblazers. So I think the greatest generation, all of those women born at, round about the First World War, fantastic. I could be here all day naming them. I'm choking up here on it. Or maybe it's just I'm making room for my necklace, Stephen.
Well, take a sip of water, because we've got 3 stories, parenting stories to get through before 12 today. Tonya, you've got our first one for us this morning. I love this. Go on.
Well, it's a big weekend for women because, of course, it's Mother's Day on Sunday, as well as it being International Women's Day today. And the Wonder Woman that is Claudia Winkleman has spoken this week on the subject of what women want. And I think actually for the purposes of today, I'm sure she won't mind, I'm going to change her name from Claudia Winkleman to Claudia Winklewoman, because I think she would approve of that. But anyway, she says she doesn't want flowers and daft chocolates, all the rest of it. What she wants is for her kids to stack the dishwasher and basically just to behave all day. And I am totally with her, although I wouldn't want my kids stacking the dishwasher because nobody stacks it as well as me, Stephen, despite training. But this whole thing about getting things for Mother's Day, it's lovely when the kids are little, getting them to make you the burnt toast and all that, and getting the homemade cards. But at my stage, I just want my kids to come and see me. It really is at that stage. When they were
answer
little,
the phone. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Why Why is it, Stephen, that kids are on their phones, they're on their devices 24/7, and yet when you phone them, they never pick up?
No idea.
But you know, when they were little, Stephen, I would really like them to forget about the present, to just have not fought for a whole day, and made sure that I didn't have to help them with homework or a school project, and just let me watch my rubbish telly without a derisory snort. That's what I would have wanted.
I think Tonya and Claudia are right on this, Vicky, because the problem about the whole breakfast in bed thing is who cleans it up?
Listen, I am 100% behind this idea. Claudia Winkleman, take a bow.
She's your gal.
She's a woman. She's a great book as well. She wrote a great book. I 100% think this is the way to go. If my children, who are all adults, by the way, the youngest is 19, 20 and 24. They all live at home. If they all did a little bit of housework every day, then life would be so much more easy. And sometimes they will do a cursory piece of housework, and then you go, oh, thanks for putting away the washing. Oh, no bother. Is there any chance of a lift into town?
You see, it's a trade-off. It's a deal.
So, and I don't want it for a day. Tonya, no. I want it for life.
I know, Vicky, but you see, when they actually learn to drive, they're never available. Whenever you want them, they're never available. So it doesn't.
I'll hide their car keys and turn the Wi-Fi off.
What will happen probably this Sunday, Vicky, in the house? Mothering Sunday.
I found out one of my children won't be there because she's going to Manchester for the weekend. She's got a rave on the Friday.
Maybe she's taken you. Maybe you just haven't been told yet.
Well, it was my life when I was that age. So she's now living my life when I was 20, nearly 21. And there's like no plans. Unfortunately, I am actually going away with my mother for a wee weekend, a wee sunshine break on Monday morning. We're going to Gran Canaria, so I'll be prepping for my holiday and going to see my own mum. And, I'll probably be given a lovely card from my children at some point. And it'll be lovely.
Lower your expectations and then it'll be fine. Then you won't be disappointed. Tonya, what's going to happen for you on Sunday, do you think?
Don't ask me. There'll be no trip to Gran Canaria for me. I'll be lucky if I get a trip up to Sainsbury's. Well, to be honest, my daughter's in London, so I'll get the usual, a voucher from her that she's going to spend some time with me at some point in the future. And my son will be around.
Wait. She gives you a voucher saying she'll spend time with you.
She's always given me a voucher since she was little. Every birthday, Christmas, a little voucher to say I want to spend time with my mummy.
Oh, so it's not. I thought you meant like a voucher for a spa or an afternoon tea or something.
No. It's just a promise to dedicate some time.
So you can take her out
want.
shopping and buying her stuff, something like that. Really,
pretty much. I think she learned from her mother because that's what I do with everybody else. No, seriously, it was just when you get to mind, you just want to spend time with your kids. So my son is actually going to come round this weekend. So the drill will be, I will fill the fridge and I'll time him. When he comes in the house, it'll be about 18 seconds. Where he comes in, hi, Mum, opens the fridge. I'll just think, do you know what? This is normal. But I will spend some time with my kids. But when they're older, that's what you want. We'll maybe do a wee quiz. Could get you in as the quiz master now, Stephen, since you passed the audition this morning. So just spending time with them. Maybe my son will come around and we'll watch a film or something, but nothing special. But when the kids were little, it was all about having a wee bit of pampering time, I think.
Yeah. Let's talk about when kids are little. Vicky, you've got our second story of the day. World Book Day. What do you want to talk about?
Book Day. So it was World Book Day yesterday. Well, it certainly was where I live, because as I was driving through the town in the morning, I seen all the kids going to school in their costumes. So it's just gone bananas. And, there's so much pressure on people, I think. You've got to send your kid to school dressed as a character. Now, thankfully, my children were just kind of leaving primary school when this madness took a hold of the world. And the very first World Book Day we had to participate in, I sent Dylan to school in a shark onesie and just prayed that Jaws was a book. And then I thought that if it is a book, it probably wouldn't be appropriate for an 8-year-old to read. And Charlotte went as the girl, I don't even know their name, from Charlotte's Web. So she just got a tartan shirt and a bandana wrapped around her head.
Wow, you really pushed the boat out.
Yeah, but now you're saying that, you say that, but yesterday I saw about 15,000 children being trooped to school wearing onesies. And I thought, do you know what? I started it all those years ago. The mums and dads are still doing it. Good on you. people don't have time to come up with costumes for World Book Day. I think it would be more sensible to read the books rather than stress the parents out about making costumes.
Yeah, Tonya, the book bit in this has got a bit lost, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think we should just go to your public library on World Book Day and try and keep them open, or behave like a true bookworm and not really care about what you wear. But I tell you, fortunately, I missed all this because my kids are, almost 30, and in their late 20s anyway. But if it had been on when I was at school, I would have told my son that his favourite book character is Pajama Man, and I would have invented one for my daughter called Girl in a Nightie or Girl in School Uniform and said, just go. I mean, the thought of all of that sewing, as I've mentioned it before, Stuart, I've just called you Stuart. That's my husband's name. Sorry, Stephen.
Freudian slip.
Right, aye. And it's a Friday as well.
It's because I'm about to nag, you see. When my son was in primary 5, Stephen, I have told you this before, I was voted mum least likely to own a sewing machine because I couldn't even sew on a school badge. So the thought of actually having to get a proper outfit together that, they would be seemly in. It's just, as Vicky said, the pressure is ridiculous. Take a book to school.
It's over for another year, thank goodness. I want to talk to you about paternity and maternity leave. New rules come into force today for fathers in England, Wales and Scotland. Campaigners say that it still doesn't go nearly far enough, all of this. Vicky, maternity, paternity leave, how did it work for you?
I was self-employed when I had the second two, and the first one I had just graduated uni, so didn't need to worry too much about that. And paternity leave, my husband got a week with each of them. I think he got maybe 2 weeks with the middle one, and then when we had the third child, his work went, you're taking the absolute mick now, so you're just getting a week.
And was he useful to you?
Yes.
During that week?
Absolutely.
By keeping out the way?
No, I was throwing furniture at him, was crying at him, telling him I was fat and all this kind of thing. So I absolutely needed him there.
He was a psychological support for you.
He was. I don't know how we're still married.
A crucial time. Tonya, how did it work out with Stuart, your husband?
Well, it was actually my first husband. So there we go. But it was so long ago, Steve. It was almost 30 years ago. A different age. I mean, I don't think paternity leave was actually in the dictionary when we had my son and my daughter. But definitely he did I think he got an afternoon off. But seriously, having, a partner around is just fantastic in the first couple of weeks. It's so difficult for mums, coming home from hospital, all of the overwhelming. You just want to get some sleep and somebody to help. So I think it's lovely to see dads, out pushing prams. It sounds ridiculous, but that never happened. When I had kids, it's lovely to see them involved. But for me, I was self-employed, so same as Vicky. I was back at work 11 weeks after I had my son, and my ex-husband was working in political PR, and there was a general election on at the time. So we didn't really have an awful lot of that. But it's definitely... I definitely think for men, a couple of weeks at home is lovely, but do they want to be at home for much longer? Because I think they probably realise there's a lot of drudgery involved, and they probably have more of a Skype when they go back to work.
Oh, well, that's a whole different thing. That's a phone-in, actually. We should do that sometime. We're out of time this morning. Tonya McCarry, Vicky Johnson, happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. See you next time.